So today we're doing a review of the FENIX pd35 as a light for police and security use, and I'd like to thank Lloyd Black for sending me this light. Lloyd is a subscriber and a Patreon supporter and an avid watcher of the channel, and he feels so strongly about the FENIX pd35 that he wanted to send me one to do the review on so that everyone else could see how awesome this light is. We're going to be testing this light up against my Streamlight Stinger LED as we do in every flashlight review video here on Free Field Training, and we're going to show you how it compares with that light in tasks that are normal for police and security use. And I'm also going to talk a little bit about the two modes of operation that this light has. Stick around.
Where are you going? Get out of the way!
Now the FENIX pd35 takes either two CR123s or one 18650 or 18650 if you're a cool guy battery in order to power it. So it could be either a rechargeable light or a replaceable battery flashlight depending on what your needs are. I find that the replaceable CR123s tend to work a little bit better and give you a lot smoother and a lot more powerful beam when you need maximum performance, and the 18650 batteries tend to work a little bit better if you don't want to spend a whole lot of money on batteries or if you're going to be running the light an awful lot. This light is a little more than palm-sized. In stature, it's about the same size as most other CR123 flashlights that run at 1100 lumens like this one does. It has a tail cap, which operates whether the light is on or off. It has both momentary and solid on through the tail cap. And then the UI button on the head, like many other flashlights, runs up and down the light intensity levels. Now this light also has a tactical setting. This is the outdoor setting, and in the tactical setting, instead of getting various higher and lower light levels, you get just 1100 lumens and strobe, which I guess would be effective for someone who actually used strobe, which I do not. I've never found strobe to be entirely effective for a whole lot of anything. Occasionally I'll use it for crowd control or so that I can hold it over my daughter's head so she can have a dance party, but I haven't found a whole lot more uses from that. And even with the crowd control, it doesn't really work until you start getting really, really bright and really, really close to people. And if I'm going to be shining a flashing light in somebody's eyes for crowd control, I don't really want to be that close to them anyway. So I prefer the outdoor mode because I find that when I'm working, I'm not doing a whole lot of tactical things all the time, but I am doing a whole lot of very outdoorsy things. I work outdoors. I'm a police officer on the side. I'm a security guard. I do a whole lot of looking for things under seats, a whole lot of looking for things under cars, a whole lot of searching buildings that the door got left open on and we have no reason to think anybody's inside of with a handheld light. And I don't always need 1100 lumens or strobe, but what I need an awful lot of is 40 and 50 lumens and 200 lumens when I'm looking around inside a house, and 40 or 50 lumens when I'm looking underneath a seat to see where that French fry fell so that my car mate doesn't end up killing me when she uses the car the next day because I left food all over the place. So in that regard, this light compares extremely favorably with my duty light, the Streamlight Stinger LED, which we're going to be comparing it to here in a moment. The Streamlight Stinger LED has both a very high lumen output that you can get immediately upon turning the light on, and then you can hold the button down to turn the light down lower. And then it comes right back on and up again. This is extremely convenient when I'm working on the street, and I found the same thing to be true with this. The difference with this light is that it is smaller, which is sometimes an advantage and sometimes a disadvantage, depending on what you're using the light for right at that moment and what technique you're going to use when using it. But this light is half the size, half the weight, and it has like 3 times the lumens. This thing at max output when it's fully charged is 350 lumens. And this thing at max output using the CR123 lithium batteries that are brand new puts out 1100 lumens. So it has an awful lot of throw and a whole lot of flood as well, which is pretty impressive for light in this size and this cost category. So let's look exactly at what this thing can do when it's out on the street. All right, so we're at our normal residential alley with a little bit of front lighting. You see my Streamlight Stinger LED. It throws pretty well because that's what the light is primarily made for. But when you try the FENIX pd35 out, It throws almost as well, but gives you way more floodlight. This makes it a very powerful pocket option. You see my Streamlight Stinger inside of a car. As usual, you get that bright spot of light because it's made for throw and it's 350 lumens. Then when we turn on the PD35, the car just lights up like you actually turned the dome light on inside the car. You can see so much more inside beyond that little spot. Even when we turn the FENIX pd35 down and start lowering the light intensity on it, you can still see far more in the car than you can with just the Streamlight Stinger LED. It's really impressive. Finally, we're going to take a look at our parking lot about 40-50 yards away. You've seen this same shot before with several other flashlight reviews. Here's my Streamlight Stinger LED. You can see it does a pretty good job getting to the building, but here's the FENIX. Lights the whole lot up. This isn't a very far throw for a full-size duty light, but as you can see, the FENIX does the job of lighting the parking lot up significantly better than a standard duty light that's made only for throw. In fact, I bet you it would perform better at this task not only than the current Streamlight Stinger, but the new Streamlight Stingers that are 600 or 700 lumens, and even the 1,000 lumen Surefires that are out, because those are made to throw just that one bright spot, and you lose all of that flood effect. So given the performance that you're getting out of the FENIX PD35, I say you're doing pretty well, especially considering that it's a $60 to $70 light, depending on where you get it. I found it at the lowest $62 on Amazon, and at the highest up $100 to $112 with a couple of rechargeable batteries and a charger included with, and the holster to put it in, and all the extra doodads that come with them. Well, I wouldn't consider it an ideal duty light because of its small size, which limits the techniques that you can use, like the under-the-arm technique when you're trying to read a driver's license late at night and you need to use your flashlight and the radio and hold the license all at the same time. It would work pretty well as a backup light. In fact, it would look really, really well as a backup light, especially on something like a field search where those extra lumens and that extra throw and flood could really come in handy. It would work really well for an unarmed security guard who wants a whole lot of performance in a small package that they can put on a normal pants belt that doesn't need a duty belt, doesn't want a duty belt, or wants to be able to just throw it in the jacket of a coat or clip it to a cargo pocket. When playing around with this at work, I actually found one of my friends who's an evidence tech, or a crime scene investigator, if you believe what TV says. He actually owns one of these lights, and he likes the high, low, medium modes for when he's looking for fingerprints, so he keeps this clipped on his cargo pocket at work, and he uses this for his evidence tech work and his normal duty light for normal police work, and then he also has another backup light. I guess he's one of those 2 is 1, 3 is 5 people that needs to carry 7 or 8 of everything. But that's another use that I think is pertinent to the conversation. He needs to be able to have multiple modes of lighting so that he can bounce them off of things to try to see evidence better, try to see fibers better, and try to see fingerprints on surfaces better, and this light is what works out really well for him. So once again, I want to thank Lloyd for sending this in for review. If you guys like this type of content, you should check out the Patreon page and my Instagram. And until next week, you guys be safe, take care of each other. I'd like to thank all the Patreon supporters, and especially the Shift Supervisor level Patreon supporters that we have listed here. Your contributions are what allows free field training to continue on and become better. Thank you.